Well, hey there, Yinzers. This is Double AP bringing you another episode of Yinzology, the study of everything Pittsburgh. Video shout out to Evie, my bestie from the Nesty. Can't mess with her because she's an honorary Yinzer. Evie found these beautiful vintage postcards down here in the South of all places. Now, I've seen vintage postcards, but I've never been able to come across ones from Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania, and she picked up two of them. One is for Pittsburgh, the Pennsylvania station, and this is downtown Pittsburgh, and this is a Pennsylvania postcard. And Evie was all upset that she was embarrassed that she left the price tag on these, and I'm glad she did, not because I wanted to know how much that she paid for them, but this one gave a little bit of insight of what type of, this is a vintage linen postcard, and I wouldn't have known that unless I saw this on the price tag. So thank you for keeping this on here. This linen postcard was a process that was started in the 1930s, and it was a heavy rag paper to make the postcard feel like it was cloth. Then what also is pretty cool is this green George Washington 1-cent stamp that you could send a postcard for a penny. Why don't we bring that back? That's a great idea. You know what else is a great idea? Is this, when they stamped this postage, it said, hire the handicapped. It's good business. Amen to that. You know, we have a donut shop down here in the South. They hire employees with Down syndrome, and you go not only for the donuts, but you go for the customer service. And it also says Pittsburgh, PA, 1951. From this was I think that's a 1 or a 7. Another card for your collection. The city on the hillsides. I'm getting near home. Hilda M. Mrs. Burgess lived at box 29. She lived in Brooksfield, Illinois. All right. This is the space for writing the messages. This card was made by the Pittsburgh News Company circa 1940. The company was Ticknor Brothers. And this card is worth about, I saw this card on cardcal.com going for about $15. Yeah, so let's take a look at this one, shall we? Look at that. I don't know if this is gonna help. I'm gonna run across this real slow, see if you can. I have no idea what this is gonna look like. But if you can see that close, and then I'm gonna take this away. So, greetings from Pennsylvania, and the Liberty Bell is in the background here. It's block letters are in a curved shape. P, we'll start with the P. That is a body of water. I am assuming it's Lake Erie. It's really gonna be hard to nail that down. That could be any lake with a bunch of rocks. The next letter is E, and that is the PA State Capitol building in Harrisburg, and you can tell by what should be a green dome, terracotta tiles, but it kind of looks yellowish. And if you look really closely, I don't know if you Yinzers at home can see it, but Miss Penn herself on top of the building is a gilded brass statue of the Commonwealth. And we talked about that word. It's the Yinzers of the common good. Now the N is this Quaker Oats looking guy, and he was a Quaker. That is William Penn, on top of the Philadelphia City Hall in Center City. It's been there for over 100 years. Maybe a very disturbing picture is what looks to be little children. Hopefully they're not slave child labor, but hopefully they're just little kids playing in the slums of some either Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. Let's hope they're not working the mines or the mills, because these are little kids. The S is one of my favorite buildings in our Pittsburgh skyline. That is the Golf Building, and I'm going to be doing a video in the near future on the Golf Building because it is one of my favorites. The Y has me stumped because the N over here is the Cathedral of Learning in the University of Pittsburgh. And if you get a chance, visit this building, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan. Harry Potter, and it's going to look like Hogwarts. Hogwarts, if you go inside this building, it's a beautiful building. And why is either the Cathedral of Learning made it onto this postcard twice, or this is something else that I cannot recognize. I don't know. I think it's the Cathedral of Learning that made it on here twice. All right, moving on. The L is a historic brick building in Philadelphia. It is the Independence Hall and Congress Hall. It is the birthplace of our Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. The V, believe it or not, is a pagoda built in Reading, PA as a resort, and I believe it is still there. The A is some sort of smokestack factory that could literally be in any small town in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. Let us comment below if you know this smokestack factory. We already talked about the Cathedral of Learning, University of Pitt. Here's a highway along another body of water. Again, that could be Lake Erie. That could be somewhere else. I don't know. And last but not least, we have the letter A is the Liberty Bell, the international emblem, the iconic bell of freedom and justice. All right, postcard number 2 was never sent in the mail. And this is the Canteen and Pennsylvania Stations. Building is still there. Beautiful architecture. Right next to the train station, you had the USO, the United Service Organization's Canteen Variety Club. And this was to support our service members who traveled through Western PA and who traveled through Pittsburgh and would come through the train station. This variety club had an auditorium, it had a game room and refreshment room, it had a lounge area. I believe this was built in 1943, tore it down in 1946. Not many of the service members used it, and so they tore it down, which is kind of sad because it is really cool looking rounded building. You see these cars would park, they would also park under this this rotunda. Was built in 1904 and it expanded in 1954 by the Pennsylvania Railroad Company. In 1988, it was converted into apartments, and it's one of several passenger rail stations that served Pittsburgh. And it is the only surviving station that is actively in use. So if you practice the art of collecting postcards, you are called a deltiologist. So we are, right now, we are yinzologists and we are deltiologists. And postcards, you know, according to this, 1 cent for 1 penny, it was the cheapest way to send someone a note to let them know that they were thinking about them. And I think the first postcard was published in 1869. Well, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate this gift. It was so thoughtful and really had a lot of fun with this video. And please comment below. Let us know if you have any Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania postcards. We'd love to hear about it. As always, like this video, share this video, and feed Algo the Dingo by clicking the subscribe button. This is your Yinzologist, Double AP. Until next time, I'm out.